It's taxi vlog 344, I believe. If not, it's 345, somewhere around there. Right now it is 6:30 in the evening, and it's raining, drizzling hard, if that can be a description of the kind of rain we're having right now. It is the 12th, I believe, of February, so we're almost halfway through the month. We're almost to Valentine's Day. I haven't thought of what I should do for Valentine's Day yet. Oh well, it'll come to me if I'm supposed to do anything special. It's another one of those manufactured holidays, just like every holiday is manufactured. Monday I came out and it was quiet and it was slow, and I'd wait an hour to get like a $6 fare, and typically as the night went by it was just slow the whole way through. I went home with maybe $50 more than when I came to work. That is after I paid the lease and fuel, so $50 for Monday. Tuesday, somehow it was just as slow, but instead of getting $6 or $7 fares, I was getting $20 fares, and the Tuesday worked out really well. Why am I sitting in my own car here in the rain? It's because the taxi has not arrived yet, and that could be it coming down the hill. I can't tell for sure. But sometimes, yes, it's going slow. Sometimes it happens that the cab is late, and I believe that's... yeah, it looks like him. It's hard to tell because my wipers are off. Anyways, yeah, I ended up taking a little more home on Tuesday, and it was still a slow night, and I was lucky and thankful that I did as well as I did. Anyway, I have to go now because the cab is here, and get to work. So I'm fifth in the zone, and not much is happening. It's raining, and I mentioned already how Monday and Tuesday were no hot shit. Wednesday started out with a really demanding customer. This woman was, oh, you go this way and you go this way and you go under the parking lot and you come out the other side and you go that way. Oh, okay, fine. So I did that, and I was as accommodating as I could. While she told me about a horrible cab ride where the driver wouldn't listen to her and he turned around and yelled at her for telling him what to do, and that nobody tells him what to do and how to do his job and so on. I know 2 or 3 guys who are hotheads like that, but it wasn't me. Anyway, I got her there and she tipped me a whole $5 on her $9.85 cab ride, which turned out, it worked out okay. It's got this a little bit too warm in here. So, you know, that was a good start. Then I got back to the parking lot and I waited for another call, and just pointed the wrong way, probably. Hopefully that's better. So I got back to my parking lot and I was watching some YouTube videos, and then I got another call, and it was to the Save On Food shopping center, or shopping mall. Actually, supermarket. Wow, you know, I worked in one for 7 years, and I can't say it properly. Supermarket. Okay. Picked up this guy, and when I picked him up outside of the Save On Food supermarket, a car alarm was going off, you know, where it honks the horn, beep, 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 beep. And this car alarm is going off, and I said, you know, I happen to own a car that has a car alarm in it, but I always have it so that the alarm doesn't go off. Like I always have it. I never set the alarm, is what I say. And the way to not set the alarm is to not use the electric locks. And don't use the key fob. Well, the battery in the key fob has been dead for a long time. I never used that thing. So no key fob and no automatic locks. And you just push the plunger down on the door frame, and that locks the door, and it doesn't set the alarm, and everybody's happy. Or at least I am. So then I drove the guy a few blocks. We're going towards our destination. And as we're going to our destination, I realized that I didn't have my meter on. So I turned the meter on, and I said, oh, well, you know, it's going to be what it's going to be. The guy says, well, you're getting $15 for this anyway. I said, well, that's great, you know, I appreciate it. He said, well, how much would it be normally about? And I said, well, from where we started to where we're going, it's about $12, probably not more than that. And the guy says, oh, well, that's fair, yeah, that's reasonable. Then my phone rang, my phone here in my pocket. It rang, and it was Cindy. And I hear in the background, beep, beep, beep. How do I turn this thing off? I'm trying to start the car, but it won't run, and it's just beeping at me. I said, get out of the car, put the key in the driver's side door lock, turn it left, turn it right, turn it left, turn it right, turn it left, turn it right, until the beeping stops. And don't use the electric door locks. And she said, well, that's easy for you to say. Well, it works for me. I never use the electric door locks, and the thing never goes off. The other time the thing will go off is when the battery was discharged, and if you recharge the battery and then you try and start the car, it thinks that you tried to steal it because you've been dicking around with the battery, or that the battery got disconnected, so you were dicking around with it, so therefore you're trying to steal the car, so the alarm goes off. And the guy who I was taking, my passenger, figured out what was happening, and I said, what are the chances and what kind of timing is this? You know, you got the alarm at the supermarket, and I haven't heard one for about a month, any of these car alarms, but there you go. And then the car that I was talking about, that I never have that problem with, that I always set it up so it doesn't go off, went off. And my wife called me to find out how to turn it off. He says, well, now you're getting $20 for your fare. I said, well, I appreciate that. And I said, I couldn't have timed this. You know, even if I was making a movie and scripting it, I could not have timed this any better than the way it worked out. Sometimes things just are like that. So I was off to a good start there. It was going okay. And I was moving. On the whole, though, it was a slow night, and it took me until midnight to break even. And then at around 1 o'clock, actually it was just around 11, midnight, whatever, I got a fare. I hadn't broken even yet. No, I was halfway to my lease at this point. I had like $45 on. And get this call to pick up this guy. And pick him up, and he says, we're going to the... And he gives me the name of the hotel downtown. But on the way there, we're going to pick up my friend, who's on the gorge. I said, okay, fine. So we proceed to drive. And he said, shouldn't you be turning left here? And I said, well, you haven't told me where we're going to pick up your friend yet, so I don't know. You said somewhere on the gorge, and the gorge is kind of that way, but you didn't say where on the gorge. He says, oh, just head towards my hotel, and then I'll let you know. So he's texting on his phone, and he's calling people up, and he hasn't given me an address yet. And we're about 2 blocks from his hotel, and he says, can you give me a flat rate to Langford and back? I said, sorry sir, I do not do flat rates. At this point we were already 13 something on the meter. I said, sorry, I don't do flat rates. And then he says, well, we got to go to Langford, pick up my friend. Okay. So I turn right onto Douglas, which becomes the highway which goes out to Langford. He says, well, how much is it going to cost from here to Langford? It was like $15 on the meter already. I said, I don't know where in Langford you're going. He said, let me find out. So he's texting back and forth, and we find out it's near the Log House pub. And I said, well, from here it's another 25. So there's $15 on the meter, and it's about another 25. You know, safe bet the whole total of it would be about $40. So we're heading out, and he says, well, why don't you do flat rates? I said, because if I do flat rates, like $50 from here to Langford and back, and the fare ends up being $70, I'm ripping myself off $20. This is why I do not do flat rates. I go by what's on the meter. And that's how this business works. He says, well, you know, if I just give you $50, you can turn off the meter and not have to share with anyone. I said, that's not how this works. I'm not on a commission basis. I receive what I receive from the customers. He says, well, what do you own this car? I say, no, I lease it. I pay the owner a set lease for the night, and after I've paid that, what I get is my income. And if I was to give you $20 off, then the next guy you'd ask to get $25 off, and then he'd be undercutting me, and someone would be undercutting him, and then nobody'd be making any money at all. So we don't do flat rates. Oh, he said. So as we're getting up towards the log house, he calls the phone number and says, I'm pulling into the log house now. What do I do now? And he gets an address where to go near the log house. I said, okay, fine. I think I remember where that is, which I did by some miracle. I didn't have to stop and look it up in the book. I knew where that street was. It was a tiny little street, had like 5 or 6 houses on it. But I knew how to get there. And he says, what, do you have a GPS in here? I said, no. I've been driving cabs since before there was a GPS. And I wouldn't know how to use a GPS if I had one anyway. But I remember where this street is. Oh, he says. So we get there, and we find the house, and it's $36.25 on the meter. He gives me $40. I proceed to dig out to the $3.75 that I owe him in change. And what a prick, you know. He was even saying on the phone to this person he was going to meet, should I ditch this cab and get another one because he's not giving me a flat rate? Will I have to wait for you and stuff? It's like he's making me out to be the bad guy because I'm only trying to protect my living. Okay, fine. So I get him, I get my money, and I'm out of there, and I'm just glad to be rid of him because, you know, I know it would have been another $20, $25 to get back to his hotel, and it was already 36 on there, so, you know, 40, it would have been easily $60, maybe more, maybe 70 to do the whole fare. So, you know, if he wants to give me 50 for 70, forget it. Anyways, I let him go because he was just one of these chiselers, you know, just, what am I, a used car dealer or something? I don't negotiate. It's what's on the meter. If you're willing to give me more than what's on the meter, I'm happy with that. But I don't do special deals. And this is also the reason why I don't do special favors for people and pick them up off a cell phone, and then they want a deal and they want me to help them out and you know, front them for the fare because they don't have the money today. Oh, fuck off. Well, later on, I was sent to the Parkdale Shell, which is the Shell station near where I usually work, right around this area here. And I pick up this guy. Well, I get to the Parkdale Shell, and there's a guy standing there. He's standing out right outside the Shell station, and I had pulled up already, and I phoned, and he didn't answer the phone, but it was the guy inside the gas station who answered the phone, saying Parkdale Shell. I tell him, yeah, I was sent to pick up somebody here. It's a taxi right outside. And he says, oh, yeah, the guy should be standing right outside the door there. Really? Oh, okay. Guy standing right outside the door. Yes, there is a guy standing right outside the door, but he's not waving at me or making any motions to come towards the cab. So I rolled down the window. I said, hey, you called for a cab? He said, well, yeah. And he said, would you take me to Langford? I said, I don't see why not. And he gave me the neighborhood in Langford. It was a new relatively new neighborhood to which they're building another new neighborhood onto. And it's a zoo out there. It's roundabouts and bicycle lanes and too much painting on the pavement, and oh man, it's horrible. Get real confused and can easily get lost out there. So anyway, I said, well, yeah, of course I can take you to Langford. I don't see a problem with that. And he was doing as if, you know, I wasn't going to want to go to Langford. I mean, there are taxi drivers who will not take people out of town, who will not go to Langford, or who will not go, oh, you know what? Last week I drove here and it was all, the road was all carved up and it was all gravel. This week it's nice. Well, there's a part that's loose gravel, but it's, there it is. But they did pave some of it, which is nice. Nice of them to do that. Okay. So, and we had a very pleasant conversation all the way out to this neighborhood in Langford, and it was lovely. It was a nice drive, and he tipped me $6 on top of the 30-something it was. Marvelous. Now, I remember having, I know I did have another trip similar to that, a third long one, or did I? Anyway, I ended up coming back into town after that one. Yeah, that's what happened. I didn't have another long trip. Between those two long ones, I did have a few short ones, so I made a bit of money. And then at around 3 o'clock, I guess it was 3:30, I had cleared from that last one, and I came back into town, and I sat in the parking lot, and I completely exhausted the batteries in my phone. Completely. Phone was dead from watching videos on YouTube. I started reading a book. This one is Prince of Sparta by Jerry Purnell and Steve Sterling. I'm about 100 pages into it, and I'm not quite getting into it yet. I'm still trying to figure out who's who and what's what. I don't like it when a story doesn't grab me so much that I can't figure out who's who and what's what right away. So it's one of those that I'll be wading through a little bit. I'll be reading a lot tonight because I don't have anything in my watch later list. There's nothing in my watch later list, and there's nothing in my videos to watch because I've watched them already before coming to work. So I'm going to read my book tonight. I fell asleep at about 4 o'clock, I guess, and I woke up at about 5:30, and then at 5:30 I was going, well, you know, maybe I'll sit here and try and get another call. And I sat there, but I had been sitting there for over 2 hours and nothing was happening, nothing was moving. It was so dead this morning. So I went and fueled up. It took $9 to fill this thing. A whole $9. And then I drove. I was actually going to drive from the gas pump to park it, but as I came back to the car, this thing was beeping at me. Let's see if we've moved up at all. This thing was beeping at me to go pick someone up. Oh, I moved up 2 positions. I'm now 3rd. I was 5th when I started this. It's slow. So I picked up that last fare, which I got after I fueled up the car, and it only went a few blocks. It was $5.35 exactly, and that's how much I got on Interac, $5.35. But she had really nice legs, and she wasn't wearing any pants, or if she had a skirt on, it was quite a short skirt, such that her winter coat covered the end of it. So I could just, never mind. You kind of know where I'm going with that. I could just imagine those legs just coming up. Tempting, but no, I remain professional. And just did my job and took her where she was going. I don't know why she was being so cheap. Anyways, that was the end of my Wednesday night, and now it's Thursday night, and I'm waiting. And I was waiting for the car to show up, and I wasn't missing much the way it looks. I will pull into this car dealership parking lot where the lights are bright, and I can read through the skylight, and I can wait for my first fare of the night. It's been one of those slow ones. I think I was $10 short of my lease, or even $15 short of my lease at 11:30, and I came into the parking lot here, and I was talking to another driver who got a call, and then I sat here reading my book, and I must have read my book for a couple hours, and then of course I got tired. It was about 1:30 or so, and I just couldn't see anymore. I ended up reading the same paragraph about 6 times, and then I reclined my seat and went to sleep. Then at 3:30 I woke up and I was booked off. Now I was expecting to get called, but I didn't get called. I got booked off. So now it was 3:30, and I sat there for another half hour going, oh shit, oh no, oh shit, oh no. And since then I have had 4 trips that basically saved my night. I got lease and fuel and maybe $30 or even less. Lease and fuel and maybe $20 now, but at least I'm making something. At least I'm not having to pay to be out here. But still, it's been an awfully shitty night. The time is now 5:29, I've got half an hour left. It remains that if I get another call within the next 10 minutes or so, I'll do it. And if I don't get another call within the next 10-15 minutes or so, within the next 10 minutes, I'll have to go and wash the car because it's dirty, and probably vacuum and do the mats. Or maybe I'll just wash the exterior because it's ugly, it's dirty, it was sprayed on by all kinds of filth. And then I'm going to go do my exercises, take a walk for 20-25 minutes, and then I'm gonna go home, eat something, have a couple drinks, and go to bed. Tomorrow I need a good one because this week has been hurting big time. Anyway, I'll let you know about the Friday night about this time tomorrow. Oh, I've been reading for a while. It's Saturday morning. It's about 10 minutes to 6. I've had quite enough. I can't take this anymore. The Friday night started out pretty good, was one right after another, and I did quite well at the beginning, and I did quite well until midnight. I had my expenses covered, my lease and fuel, and then some. So I was off to a good start. But then somehow, after midnight, everything kind of evaporated and slowed down to the point where after midnight, that is from midnight till 6, I made less than half the money I made from 6:30 till midnight. So it's sucking right now. I'm just sick and tired of sitting around and waiting for something to happen. Besides, my shift is over. I'm just heading down to the car wash to wash the car. And once I've washed the car, I'm going to go fuel it, and then I'm going to go park it. Then I'm going to head to the office, and I'm going to pay my lease for the week. And then I will not have to worry about taxi until Monday night. And that will be another story. But this week really sucked. This week was worse than the week 2 weeks ago by about $100. So no, this one was just brutal and terrible and not very good at all. I've had quite enough of it. I hope I got some loonies here to feed the car wash. If not, I might just say fuck it and leave the car dirty. Well, I hope yours is better than mine, because this week has been, like I said, quite miserable.